All right, let's get started. That's 1 minute late. You can dock my pay. Ladies and gentlemen, please a reminder to everyone turn off or silence your cell phones, please. This is a hearing of the Committee of Adjustment for the City of Thorold for Thursday, March 20th, 2025. Everyone present will be given an opportunity to speak for or against the applications being heard. When given a chance to speak, you will only have 5 minutes, so please make sure to be as clear and consistent as possible. For your information, Committee of Adjustment is a public process. Personal information such as the applicant's name and property address, which is reported at a Committee of Adjustment meeting, is public information. Minutes of this Committee of Adjustment meeting will be received by Thorold City Council at a public council meeting and become part of the public record. Please address all your comments and questions through the chair. A copy of the decision will be sent to the applicant or agent or to any person who files a written request. Agencies commenting on applications may request that certain conditions be imposed. Voicing objections to these conditions will not adversely affect the committee's decision. The Committee of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial body operating under the Planning Act, the Municipal Act, and the Statutory Powers Procedure Act, as well as various provincial regulations. Sections 45 and 50 of the Planning Act outline the circumstances surrounding the approval of minor variances and controlling the conveyance of land in Ontario and the prevention of subdivision of land except with governmental approval. The applicant, the minister, or any specified person or public body who has an interest in the matter may, within 20 days of the making of the minor variance decision and 20 days of the date of the mailing of the consent decision, appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal. Please note neighbors and other interested parties not defined by the Planning Act are no longer eligible to file appeals as per Bill 23, More Homes Built Faster Act 2022. I ask the clerk or the deputy clerk to read the land acknowledgement, please.
The City of Thorold is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hadawin-Darronk, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The City of Thorold stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live.
Thank you. Does any member of this panel have a pecuniary interest in any of the application? No, I see none. I have a motion from the committee that the agenda be adopted from last month's meeting. Mr. Pizzo, seconded by Mr. Ravenek. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you. Was notice given as required by the Planning Act to the planner?
Sorry, Mr. Chair, sorry, just you did the agenda, the minutes from the last meeting would have to be adopted as well.
I thought we just did the minutes.
That was the agenda from this meeting.
All right. Thank you, Mr. DeBono. Can we have a motion and a seconder, please? Mr. Ravenek, Mr. Pizzo? Now we're on to the minutes. I thought we did the minutes. Is that correct?
My understanding is the first motion was the agenda,
Okay.
today's agenda, which was carried. These are the minutes from Thursday, February 20th.
Okay. That's what I thought, but that's okay. We got it covered now. All in favor? Thank you. Are there any requests for withdrawal or adjournment?
No.
All right. Jay, welcome aboard. And if you could present your report, please.
All right, through you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jay Gravenstein, and I'm the new development planner with the City of Thorold. Just some background on today's application. It's part of a ongoing concurrent development at 2248 Center Street. In this application, the applicant is requesting a minor variance for relief from the front yard zoning setbacks under the city's R3D zoning, residential 3 zone. The site is located next to the Welland Canal in Thorold, South Thorold along Center Street. It's bounded by Barron Street to the south and Henderson Street to the north. The subject lands are currently zoned R3D, as I mentioned, and that was following a zoning bylaw amendment in 2023. And the site falls within the urban living area of Thorold under the city's official plan, with an approximate site area of around 7,740 square meters. As I mentioned, this application is part of an ongoing concurrent development, which includes draft plan of condominium. The applicant is requesting a 2-meter relief in front yard setback, going from 6 meters to 4. This relief is intended to facilitate 10 proposed dwelling units on site, and the current lands are undeveloped. Under Section 45 of the Planning Act, a minor variance requires 4 considerations. The first consideration, that the minor variance follow the main intent of the official plan. As I previously mentioned, the site is within the urban living area, and in the official plan, the urban living area states its goal as promoting the efficient use of existing and planned infrastructure and promotes intensification under the official plan. Because the variance is seeking to facilitate a more efficient design which promotes intensification, staff is of the opinion that it meets the general intent of the urban living area and the official plan. The second of this 4-part test is that the minor variance meets the main intent of the bylaw. Under residential 3 zone, the R3D zone, you're allowed a private street development in the city's comprehensive zoning bylaw. Under this R3D zone, a 6-meter setback is required for the front yard. The purpose of this setback requirement is to provide separation from the street and drainage opportunities. Because of the nature of the development and the setbacks provided in the proposed site plan, it is staff's opinion that the requested variance meets the general intent of the comprehensive zoning bylaw. The third of this 4-part test is the variance appropriate for the land. In staff's opinion, there are no adverse effects on the land from granting relief for this setback. The lands are currently undeveloped, and agency comments that we've received indicate no concerns about granting this setback relief. Therefore, staff is of the opinion that the variance is appropriate for the land. And the final category in this 4-part test is the variance minor? So to begin, a 2-meter relief in setback is not a major ask. Because the purpose of the front yard setback, as I mentioned, is to provide separation and drainage, the proposed private street developments and the setbacks of those units provide that relief. The ability for pedestrian services or vehicles to access the existing center street is maintained. Therefore, staff is of the opinion that the variance is minor. As I mentioned, we received 2 comments from agencies, the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority and Canadian National Railway. Comments provided by these 2 agencies were previously in reference to the draft plan of condominium. Both agencies have confirmed that they have no concerns in approving the minor variance. Planning has reviewed and confirmed these comments will be addressed in the concurrent application, and there were no resident comments. That concludes the city's report, but I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Jay. Who speaks on behalf of this application, please? If you could come to the front, identify yourself.
I have to, there, I think I turned it on. You can hear me okay? Perfect. My name is Cam Lang. I'm a planner with Lally Homes, the applicant and owner of the lands, and John Lally is behind me today. I'll be very brief. We agree with staff's recommendation. The one issue that we potentially identified in requesting relief was sight lines and just ensuring that there was adequate daylighting triangle with the intersection of the private road and Center Street. Before we even filed our application, we canvassed the engineering department, and they confirmed in writing that there were no issues associated with that, and that the adequate sight lines would still be in effect. So there is quite a bit of a separation as well between the traveled portion of Center Street and the end units where we're requesting the relief. So in that regard, that was the only additional piece of information I'd like to add today. We're fully supportive of the recommendation, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions that committee members may have in regard to the application.
Thank you, sir. Committee members, questions, comments?
I have no problem. I think it's a good build and a good spot.
Thank you, Mr. Pizzo. Mr. DiPaolo, did you have something?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I do have a question through you, Chair, in terms of when I look at the drawing, I just want to make sure that from a clarity point of view, that you're asking for a 2-meter setback, which is about 3¼ feet. And your design, when I look at it, I don't know if we can bring up the picture so you see what I'm talking about. You guys have shifted it to the left, and I don't know why you had to do that, and I'd like to understand why you needed to do that. So I'm not sure if you can-
We'd be pleased to, if you can put the,
Yeah, if that way you can see what I'm talking
the
about.
graphic up, yeah. We have a color site plan. I
Right.
don't know if it's in the agenda or the report.
I'll get to that, and I have a couple of questions, just so you know, that I'll like to speak to. So that one, as you're pulling that up, I have another question. Is it normal that the variance comes before the Committee of Adjustment concurrent to the plan of condominium being approved?
I can answer that. Yeah, we've gone through a zoning bylaw amendment and draft plan of condominium approval. As far as, it's not atypical. I've seen many instances where a variance has been requested following either site plan approval or a draft plan of condominium or subdivision approval. When you get into the detailed design, like Lally Homes has in the past year or two, we found that this made more sense in terms of the functionality of the units. Mr. Lally may want to get up and talk a little bit about the construction drawings, because he's been dealing with those primarily. But the reason that we're requesting the relief is it allows for, one of the big constraints we've always had is this 15-meter setback, adhering to the setback for the CN Port Robinson line. So that is pretty, it's a fixed setback. There's no way to get relief on that side of the property. And what you're seeing here is this 2-meter strip in purple. This is essentially, we're not really shifting things over, we're actually increasing the widths of the units. And this will provide for the ability to add, let's say, accessory dwelling units in the basements. So this improves the internal functioning of those townhouse units, which is essentially why we're requesting this relief. So it'll add about a foot to each of the 5 units.
Okay. All right.
So that's the purpose of the variance request, and it's not atypical. It's once you get into the detailed construction drawings, sometimes you find things that might work a little bit better, and given the fact that there are no impacts on adjacent properties here, the only issue that we foresaw was the potential sightline issues along Center Street, and those were confirmed to be not an issue at all. So,
Okay, so that clarifies that for me. I guess my question is, why wouldn't you, like when you're doing the plan, it's still a draft plan of condominium. And is it a draft plan of condominium the same thing as the draft plan of subdivision, basically? Like, it's the same thing? just a
essentially, it's just a
Right.
different,
Right.
yeah, it's a different tenure.
And I know that like, this to me, because it's concurrent, I think the Committee of Adjustment should have got a copy of the draft plan of condominium.
Well, what is approved is even a draft plan of condominium can be redlined.
Right.
And we have gone through numerous revisions to our draft plan of condominium as well, based on, when you get into detailed servicing drawings, for example, or utility distribution plans, you get comments back from agencies where you might need to, let's say, insert a swale, for example, between units. So you might need to shift a building over. That's what the definition really of draft plan means, is that in principle or concept, it makes sense, and then you can make revisions, providing they're minor, of course, until you get to final approval. And we have gone through that process over the last 2 years as well. So what you're seeing here is what's going to be advanced towards final approval.
Continuing through you, Chair, on this kind of, just again for clarity, so I have it in my own mind. The draft plan of condominium, I don't know if everybody's aware, but there was some residents that spoke against that plan that live in that area. I'd like to know today, was there anybody else, any residents come forward against the minor variance application that we have here in front of us today?
So,
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
whoever
ready to
can
go.
answer them. Yeah,
He's ready to go.
yeah,
yeah, through you, Chair.
I am. That's why I want to answer it, yeah.
Through you, Chair. So we did circulate under the requirements of the Planning Act. We didn't receive any resident comments concerned about the minor variance. Any resident comments related to the draft plan of condominium will be addressed when city staff processes that application.
Okay. I just think that when it gets to us here, we should know this information. And have you seen the draft plan of condominium where that it was proposed and there was 5 or 6 residents that opposed it? Right. Well, all I'm saying is it would have been nice because this to me makes, to me it just says, look at the plan of condominium is in draft stage. This change could be handled there. Why does it come before the committee of adjustment?
Again, through you, Chair. In order to allow for some of the design aspects that an applicant may want to include, they need to be aware of what the restrictions on the land are before they pursue finalizing any draft plan of condominium. And so the purpose of this zoning bylaw amendment is just, I think, really to see what is available to be built on the land and what are the zoning bylaw requirements that will affect this particular draft plan.
Through you, Chair, one more question for the presenter. Typically, in the past, you guys have always provided renderings and elevations, and this time I haven't seen those. Is there a reason why those were omitted, or just because you're not there yet?
No, we prepared renderings and elevations in support of our draft plan of condominium approval. Yeah, I mean, we have submitted construction drawings or renderings to staff. Those aren't, and you know, they're one-story bungalows. And just to reiterate, we did go through a very comprehensive and rigorous public hearing regarding our zoning bylaw amendment and draft plan of condominium. And those issues were related to issues like density, traffic, the typical issues you would associate with development. This particular application is simply looking at increasing units by another 2 meters, which is a very minor request, which is probably why there hasn't been numerous members of the public in the audience today.
I know you so through you, Chair, and I know you circulated it. I was there. The sign, while the sign is there, maybe we need to do a better job of adding an extra screw to the sign so it can stay up because the sign is down. Maybe that was a weather-related thing. So maybe people aren't here because they didn't see the sign too. So I don't know what I don't know. What I would say is I think this addition, I think it's a good thing for the area. It's good for the area. It's a nice little piece that fits in well for the area. This addition, though, what I want to make sure, I just want to make sure that by giving you this variance, you're able to make the units bigger, you're able to add an accessory dwelling unit downstairs, you're able to add more people, you're going to add more vehicles, you're going to add some more congestion. And the comments around the traffic, you're right. And I already noticed that the city has put in speed humps there so there must be there must be people who are speeding down that road by existing people that are there. And I've seen some of the residents post their own signs, please slow down. So I don't think you have any culpability in what the current traffic pattern is there, because you're not even there. But what I'm concerned about too is parking. Additional units are gonna mean additional vehicles. I see that in the one sketch there, you have some additional visitor parking. I just want some, if you could clarify for me that there is enough, you feel that there's enough parking. And maybe both staff can answer this, and you as, and the presenter, that you feel that there will be enough parking so that, the city crew can do their maintenance and do their snowscaping that they have to do.
We have more than enough parking. Visitor parking isn't even a bylaw requirement. And we went over this in excessive detail during our public hearing before City Council. We had oversupplied visitor parking, and we'd actually reduced our units from 15, which was our original unit count, down to 10, and this was seen as a very acceptable compromise between the residents and City Council. So, yeah, we have excessive amount of parking. The other point I'd like to make out, or like to add, is that these are double car driveways. They also have double car garages. So the ability to accommodate upwards of 4 parking spaces per unit. And then we also have, I think we have 9 or 10 visitor parking spaces as well. So, yeah, we have more than enough. We probably have 40, well, almost 50, the ability to accommodate 50 parking spaces within this development. Most municipalities, for example, the city of St. Catharines doesn't want any visitor parking. They're actually pushing for people not to drive. So this is, the city of Thorold is a little bit unique in that there seems to be an appetite for accommodating excessive visitor parking, which is sort of flies against what we're seeing across other municipalities in Ontario. I do believe we have enough, though.
Thank you for your comment there, and as you know, the city of Thorold is quite leading on many visions, so that just proves that as well. I have no further questions, Chair, and I'm
Thank
prepared
you.
to make a motion if anybody, unless
No,
anybody
we
else.
have a couple of, Mr. DeBono, and then, but Jay, do you have something you wanted to add?
No, just that I wouldn't be able to provide any comment on parking for this application.
Okay.
Mr. DeBono?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair, not to stifle fulsome discussion, but just for clarity, what's being discussed, what's being applied for right now is a reduction of the setback from 6 to 4 meters. That's what the focus is. I know there are other planning-related elements that can be discussed, but the focus is on the setback. That's what this is about. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. DeBono.
I'm, oh, sorry, I was gonna say, I can make a motion if I can at this time. No, I can.
Built in Thorold had double garages, we'd have no problem. This is all double garages. You can park 4 cars.
Maybe.
No, and when it comes up with single car garages, we'll be hearing from you, I hope.
Through you, Mr. Chair, if I can, the only reason I was asking those additional questions to make is that it just seemed strange to me that there was a draft plan of condominium and then there was already a minor variance to that plan when it wasn't even, like, we were getting there. So I was just looking for clarity on that.
I hope they've been able to
Yeah.
ease your fears.
Yeah.
Go ahead with
So
your motion. Mr.
I would
DeBono.
like to make a motion that the application D130821T25 be approved based on the review of the pertinent information and the comments presented at this hearing, having conducted a site visit, and for the reasons stated in the planning report.
Do we have a seconder? Mr. Jackson. Further questions or comments? Anything? Karen, your little square there that I can barely see. Any questions or comments?
Oh, nothing here. Sorry, I'm getting over a flu from the week, so yeah, nothing for me.
Thank you for not coming in.
Nah, no problem.
All in favor of the motion? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Where the hell's the agenda? I'm lost again. Any new business from anybody? Seeing none? Staff? No? Next meeting is Thursday. Do we have a, that's today. Next meeting? May? Thank you, Connor. May 15th. No meeting in April, so Mr. DiPaolo can go away again. Motion to adjourn? Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Good job.
Thanks, everyone.